All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Sorry we didn't have this video up over the weekend. It was one of those weekends where I was checking out a little bit. I had to get some time off, regen. I was able to watch most of the football this weekend. So, look, this video is going to be one of those where we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to try my best to not over yap, although the point of the video is to yap. I'm going to try my best not to. I'm going to try my best not to waffle too much here, but I've already said I'm not going to waffle like 3 times. Let's get into it. We're going to start in a place that we don't always start. Get in the comments. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Serie A. Wow. If you watched it this weekend, oh my goodness. So Napoli wins and Inter Milan lose. They lost. Orsolini has an acrobatic, incredible finish. It was one of the better finishes I've seen recently. And now we look at a situation where Inter Milan and Napoli, both with 5 matches remaining, and Inter with some tough ones, okay, are both playing for the Serie A title. Napoli's fully back in it. Not that they were out of it. But let's take a look real quick and show you why this is even more interesting, okay? You're like, whoa, I got flashbanged. Okay, the first place gets decided in Serie A if the teams are tied, not by goal difference, okay? By a first place match. Yes, you heard me. They're going to play a sudden death match. So 5 games left. If they both get, let's say, 12 points, they both end on 83 points together, they will play each other to win the Serie A. As a viewer, we need this. I need it. All right? That will be awesome. And no, it doesn't go to extra time. If it's tied after, if it's 1-1 in that game, goes right to penalties. Oh, my goodness. We will be there. Watch along for that for sure. Reaction for that for sure. That will be awesome. Now, we take a look real quick at the remaining schedule. You look at the table. Inter's going to have to play Roma and Lazio, 6th and 7th place. They're playing Roma in between the Coppa Italia and the Champions League. So Inter's got a very tough schedule. They now have a couple injuries as well. Okay? Then they're going to play Hellas Verona, who's not doing great this year. Torino, Lazio, who's a very respectable team in the league, and Como, last game of the season. Now, I see it as Napoli have it a bit easier. You look at Napoli's remaining fixtures. Well, they're out of every other competition. They can fully focus on this league. So if you're an Inter Milan fan, yesterday was like your worst nightmare, not even just to get a draw, but to lose the game. Because Napoli has Torino, Lecce, Genoa, Parma, and Cagliari. Okay, they are not playing anybody too crazy. They're not playing a 6th, a 7th place team. All right, so, it's a bit worrying. The best team that Napoli's going to play is the 10th place team. They're not playing a 6th. They're not playing a 7th place team. So, Serie A title race, it's going to be crazy to the finish. I can't wait to see it. Let's talk a little bit about the craziness of this match, okay? I have some thoughts I want to talk about with this match. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to Barcelona, okay, this result is nothing short of what I expect, all right? These guys are playing the most psychotic defensive method ever, okay? One of the goals Borja Iglesias scored this weekend, I can't even believe it was scored against a team that we're calling potentially the best team in the world or a top 3 team. The ease of the goal, the lack of defending, I was like, what did I just watch? This guy just split the 2 defenders, walked 30 yards on a jog, and, placed it away. It was crazy. Barcelona's playing a suicidal high line, but they're scoring 4 goals, and the other team scored 3 goals, and they came back in this game, and they won. They were down 3-1, they won 4-3. Not surprised. The character of this team is crazy. They're all nuts in the head. All right, they play incredibly attacking, and it's why I love watching them play. You say I glaze them, it is what it is. They come back in this game. This match and Madrid, people don't realize, both of these matches for both of these clubs, the way they went, it keeps the trend of how it's been going. But if they went any other way, and I'll explain what I mean. Barcelona has a 4-point difference, right, against Madrid. If Barca came back, they drew this, the hope the Madrid players would be getting, they're out of the Champions League, they'd be a lot more motivated. It's still a 4-point gap. I still think that Barcelona's going to win the league. But oh my God, man. Like, I watched this game and I'm like, damn, I'm a little worried against, like, maybe they see a PSG or something with that attack, the way these guys are defending. I mean, we might be on for, like, a seriously high-scoring Champions League final if we even get that. I'm not writing off Arsenal. I'm just talking about that went right into my head. Okay, Borja Iglesias is doing this. Okay, what is Kvaratskhelia? What is Dewey doing? So I was like, wow. But, ultimately, the downside for Barcelona, okay, this is the major downside from the match. Okay, I find this to be concerning. Lewandowski is out for 3 weeks. I don't like this. Something about this is not sitting right for me. Okay, so now I'm like, I don't know how to analyze this going forward. I feel like this dude is a very, very large key to their success. Now, did he have the best game in the last game? No, but he's been there for a lot of this season. He's been playing very well, and he's an experienced Champions League player. That's where I worry because they're going to be playing Inter Milan, right? And he's going to miss 2 of those. He's going to miss 2 of the Real Madrid matches. It's a lot. It's also 2 La Liga matches that, look, you look at Mallorca and Valladolid, I can't pronounce it. Those 2 matches, bro, are must-wins. Like, they cannot lose those games at all. No matter what, they cannot lose those games because if they do, you know what's going to happen, man. Everyone's going to start thinking, did we choke the league? Is Real Madrid going to take it? You know, you lose one of those games going into that Real Madrid league match, whoa, it's a different situation. And on the other side of it, the win for Real Madrid for me this weekend was massive. Now, you know, it was honestly one of those Real Madrid games that you see this season. Where's my La Liga here? Wasn't too crazy at all. You know, Vinny actually had a really nice play. But, you know, again, for me, Real Madrid this season, for the amount of possession they have in some of these matches, they really struggle to create a lot. They do. You know, they had that very, very good chance from Vinny. But it took, again, I say this about this team, it took another magical moment. The volume that they create is not like some of these other great teams we see this season. And it's not surprising now to see them out of the Champions League. Look, they just got it done. And Athletic Club as well. It was a blessing for the Madrid fans. I'm not even being harsh. They were rotating a lot of players. That was very important, you know. And it's important that Real Madrid won this game. You know, God bless Valverde. It was important because this is obviously Athletic Club, regardless of rotation, you know, is competing in La Liga at least, right? Competing. So they have Europe going on as well. That's why they're rotating. Atletico Madrid, for me at this point, they just gave up on the league. I mean, the form in the last 5, they only won 2 games. The way they lost this weekend as well. If you've seen the game, it was crazy. I mean, they just gave up defensively. They freaking gave up. So, Real Madrid, you look at the rest of the season, well, you're going to play Getafe. Is that ever an easy game, okay? That team parks the bus more than I've seen any team park the bus. Away as well, never easy. Okay, then you can see Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final. Is for a trophy. Celta Vigo, Barca, Mallorca, Sevilla, Sociedad. And that's who you got before then a break and then the Club World Cup. Not sure how much we're caring about that. We look at Barcelona. Barcelona still has to play Athletic Club at the end of the season, which is, you know, look, Real Madrid's goal with the way this is going, regardless of everything I've just said, all in to win that league match, okay? And obviously the Copa del Rey final. If we sit here and Real Madrid defeats Barcelona twice out of those 2 games, I will be surprised. Very surprised. For how the season has gone, if they win both of those games, I'll be very surprised. I think for the way the season has gone for Real Madrid, if they won one of those games, they would either have a trophy or they would have a very enlarged chance to get in position with the league. But they still got to take care of business. Look, I feel like they're way too reliant on these magical moments. They have less production. The game this weekend, they did deserve to win. I was shocked they weren't scoring. It looked like it was going to be a 0-0, and that's why you have Fede Valverde rated the way he is, because he has a moment of magic, man. The shot was insane. Insane. One of the better finishes I've seen this season. So, look, you know, ultimately, last talking point I want to go through here when it comes to Barcelona, we're talking about the Lewandowski injury. I know we're jumping all around here a little bit. You can look at the situation with Lewandowski. Now, you're hopeful. Look, this is the number 2 that's going out. That's a big deal. You're hopeful. There's been reports that Balde is training. Balde is going to be very important. People don't really, I guess, fully understand how important Balde has been to the build-up. That the left side, man, at times, the way when they're flying, all right? A lot of it has been with Balde. The team is cooking with him, okay? You got to get him back from injury. And look, you got to hope that he's Dani Olmo. I want to talk about Dani Olmo for a second. People can say what they want to say about the injuries with Dani Olmo, anything like that. The fact for me is that this guy is a one-of-one in the way that I've not really seen any player get injured this much. You know, every 4 or 5 weeks he's getting injured again. He just comes back like nothing has happened. I don't understand this guy. How does he just keep going out there? Because anyone that's played the game, it takes a while when you get injured for that long to get fit, to get the touch, to get the game speed, the mental speed. How the heck does this guy just come back every time and he's good? He's like, I'm good. Like, how are you just good, bro? What is that? How? So he doesn't even make sense to me. Barca, I know this is funny because he has been so injury prone. They're lucky they picked him up because in a situation where they've made it with a lot of this squad for a lot of the season, Lewandowski's out for 3 weeks now. Okay, you've got your biggest matches of the season. Well, thank God you have Dani Olmo. If you want to play him in that position, you can. And thank God Ferran Torres has developed the way he's developed this season, has been playing better because he's been scoring goals. So look, ultimately, yes, it's disappointing Lewandowski's out. You need to get Balde back. Otherwise, I'm not sure I see it. No Balde, no Lewandowski. Look, it is going to be hard to do all this stuff as a Barca fan that you want to do because these 2 guys have been vital to the success of this team this season. But I do believe Olmo, Ferran Torres, they can step in and make a difference. And look, if I'm going to bet on them, look, I'm going to bet on a team that for me has been showing me more this season for the La Liga, for the Copa del Rey final. And we'll preview both of them. For me, they've just been showing me more. I like the way they play better. I think they've been getting more effective results. I guess the last thing to say, okay, about any of this is this. And Barca fans, I don't know what you guys think about this one, okay? Hansi Flick, so obviously Ter Stegen has been out and injured, right? Flick says he's ready, all right? Flick says that he is ready. So I don't know what you guys think. This reminds me a little bit of Lunin and Courtois last season, Champions League. But again, Ter Stegen is not Courtois. What do you guys think? I mean, I think it's a situation where they've been riding with Szczesny for so long. He's been a part with the way they've gone. I just think they should reevaluate and have Ter Stegen considered for next season, right out the end of the season with Szczesny. But let me know what you guys think about that. So I just want to quick fire that stuff to you guys, do a little catch-up video. Looking forward to this week. Barca reaction tomorrow. Madrid's playing Wednesday. We'll see you guys then. Peace.